the world. It is Tuesday today, and we are back for another confidence convo. This is season 2, episode 3, and this week we are diving into the most important relationship in your life. Before we get started, I'd like to introduce myself. I am Davina Maria, and I am a master coach and founder of the Restore Yourself Method and host of Worthy Women Facebook group. And I help female go-getters in their 30s develop unshakable confidence so they can powerfully step into their limitless potential. Over to you, Joanna.
Hello, everybody. Hi, Davina. My name is Joanna Tonkin. I'm a registered psychotherapist, confidence coach, and the founder of the Confidence Formula. I help young adults improve their self-confidence so they can become successful. Davina and I got together to create this for you because we are obsessed with all things personal development, and we strongly believe in the power of learning from one another.
And just to clarify, we are not perfect at being confident all of the time. Like you, we move through our struggles and overcome obstacles and mindsets to continuously improve. So just think of us as guides by your side.
Awesome. So with Valentine's creeping around the corner and all of us with our different feels that you might have about this impending date, we wanted to talk about today the most important relationship that you have in your life. And people often debate and question what is the most important relationship in their life. Is it your relationship with your parents? Is it your relationship if you have children, with your partner? And all of these are really important relationships, of course. But to Davina and I, the most important relationship that we have is our relationship to ourselves. And I believe that this sets the foundation for all those other relationships. And we'll talk about why that is. So today we're going to talk all about loving yourself, caring for yourself, being your own Valentine, and why that is the most important relationship that we really do have to nurture and one that is often overlooked.
Yeah, massively, massively. I love that intro. I feel like the end part is so critical because I feel like a lot of people definitely put everyone else first, and then they kind of get whatever's left for themselves, and that is the way of taking care of themselves, and the self-love and the self-care. And I think that sometimes a lot of us feel like that is the good thing to do, kind of serve everyone else, be of service and look after everyone else and make sure that everyone else is okay. And I think it's very easily done. And yeah, 100% agree with that last part. I think that we sometimes do neglect the most important relationship, which is obviously us.
Mm-hmm. It reminds me of a quote that I love about self-care, and I'm sorry I don't remember who said it, but it was like self-care is about giving the world the best of you instead of what's left of you.
Yes, I love that.
And
I'm gonna put that on my social media.
and so the truth is, we are conditioned from a young age to act and behave in ways that are serving to other people. We're told, by our parents to be quiet, so we're quiet. We're told by our parents to be well behaved, so we're well behaved. We're told by our teachers to do our work, so we do our work. And we follow in the path that other people expect of us and want of us. And all of these conditions and all these surroundings and the environment really make it hard for us, or limit the amount of time we can actually have in expressing ourselves and caring for ourselves and honoring and serving ourselves. So really why we grow up to be adults that don't necessarily take care of ourselves or don't love ourselves is because we were never really taught probably how to do that. You probably didn't have great role modeling if you don't know how to do that. You didn't know that it was important, that you are the most important relationship in your life. You probably were made to believe that your parents or your siblings or your friends or someone else was more important than your relationship with yourself. And maybe you didn't even think, right, that a relationship with yourself was a thing because you are yourself. So like you're one person in relationship to whom, but really in relationship to yourself. And that's really important, really the most important, again, the foundation of all those other relationships.
Yeah, I love that. And I think you're right. We grow up, and for a lot of us it isn't modeled. It isn't modeled that you would take care of yourself. It isn't modeled that you would, and even things that don't kind of look like self-care. It isn't modeled that you would have boundaries. It isn't modeled that you would protect your time and your peace and that you would rest. For a lot of us, we're kind of conditioned in terms of having people in our families that are very busy, very on the go, independent, the go-getter types. And that is what is modeled, always doing something and always being around people and always doing things for others. And I think that a lot of people gain confidence from that. It's not unusual for someone to think, what, I feel good because I've made other people feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I also think it is equally important to, like you said, understand that because you are yourself, you might think that, I don't know, that the whole relationship with me is not a thing. If I'm in relationship with him or her or them or whoever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I feel like the way that I kind of think about it is that you are the only person who is with you your whole life. I
I
think a
love
lot of people talk about best friends. Oh, you've been with me for 20 years, and, they talk about family and siblings. But technically, actually, not technically, actually, you are the only person that is with you every single day when you wake up in the morning, when you go to bed, when you're in a bad mood, when you're in a good mood, when you're happy, when you're sad. You are literally the only person that you are with all the time. And that always kind of gets me to the place of thinking about self care in the way that I think about it. Because imagine if you spent every living moment with a friend, how would you treat them? And sort of, what relationship would you be in? And I think turning that inwards
it.
into ourselves is so important. So important.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It really is. And then I always say to, my clients and my friends, and if you're watching this, you're going to laugh. It's like my motto in life is my relationships are only as good as I am. And so
Mm.
if you have relationships in your life that are suffering, whether it's with a parent or a sibling or a partner, of course, there's difficult, toxic, unhealthy relationships, and I'm not really talking about that at the moment.
Mm.
But if a lot of the time we find that if there's conflict in a relationship or there's trouble in a relationship, to kind of like overcompensate or do more to appease that person or please that person to get them back on our good books, so to speak.
Yeah.
Really, what we could be doing is taking that energy, focusing on taking care of ourselves, loving up on ourselves, feeling really good within ourselves. Because if you feel really good, you're going to be a different person in that relationship than if you feel not great.
Yeah.
Right. And so I always say I am the most important because how good I feel is going to determine how good my relationships are. Because if I come into the
Mm.
relationship being burnt out, or frustrated or unhappy or bitter, that's really going to impact all of my external relationships. So if I can
Yeah.
work on all of those things, fill up my tank, do my self care, do my stuff, then my relationships are all going to be way better off in the end. It's kind of, I think of it like the cup analogy when you fill up your cup and then
Mm.
everything overflows into the people in your
Overflows.
life,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And overflowing fills up everybody else. But if you're not filling up your cup and you're not overflowing, then you're really giving from a place of lack, which doesn't feel really good.
Mm.
It probably feels resentful and probably feels frustrating and exhausting. Um, so really taking care of yourself is the most important.
Oh, I love that so much. And I think that is the biggest thing I'm taking away from today. I mean, I don't know what's coming up next, but that is the biggest thing I'm taking away with me today, because I feel like a lot of the time we look outside ourselves, don't we? And if, like you said, if a relationship is not going great, you think, oh, what's wrong with them? Why are they doing this? And why are things like this? And why does the relationship feel a bit stale and horrible? And I think our natural instinct is to kind of look at the other person and say, well, maybe it's not going great because you've done this, or 2 days ago you said that, or, you know, and I think sometimes we turn it on ourselves in sort of like a negative, critical way, like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said what I said yesterday, or maybe I shouldn't have used that tone, or maybe the text message I sent is not, something that they wanted to hear. Maybe I've like overstepped the boundary. Maybe I should apologize. But I think ultimately what you said there is so important, because there's a third option, and that third option is, okay, my relationship feels stale. It's not their fault and it's not mine. But let me just do a deep dive into how I feel right now. How do I feel right now? What's going on for me? Oh, do you know what? I feel really tired. I feel really cranky. Why is that? Oh, I haven't done whatever it is, I haven't taken care of myself very well. And sometimes it's really simple things, isn't it? Like sometimes it's like I just haven't had a minute peace for me, or I just haven't eaten very well this week. Actually, I haven't eaten very well, or I haven't had a lot of water, or maybe I'm not taking time out to like move my body, or I haven't been outside much. I've been in the darkness because of winter, or whatever it is. I think that third option is so key because a lot of people don't go to that place of let me look at myself and see how I feel and just check in with me, almost like a self
Mm-hmm.
check in. Let me just check in. How am I doing? And once you kind of check in with yourself, I feel like again it puts the kind of focus back on you, and you
Mm-hmm.
can go off and take care of yourself. And then when you are back in the relationship space, if you feel good, it's going to, like you said, overflow into that space. I love that. That is huge.
100%. 100%. And it makes me, um, oh, I just forgot my train of thought. Makes me something. Well, it'll come back. So with Valentine's Day, creeping up around the corner,
Next week,
if
yeah.
next week, if you wanted to be your own Valentine,
Mm-hmm.
if you wanted to treat yourself, if you wanted to do something special for this most important relationship that we're talking about, what are some things that you would do or maybe are doing in order to nourish and nurture that relationship?
I love this question because I do so many things and I love this. I love this. And the thing is for me, I feel like Valentine's is very much like New Year's Eve. And we spoke about New Year's Eve resolutions. I feel like Valentine's is a bit like it because there's all this pressure, isn't there? There's a pressure not to be single, there's pressure to have a date. And then even if you're in a relationship, there's pressure to have a good time. And I think the day is very pressurized. And for me, I feel like whether I'm in a relationship or not, I want Valentine's to be every day.
Mm.
That's how I kind of look at it. So the things that I do, and I do them all year round. I don't kind of just focus on February or focus on Valentine's Day. I try and get into habits of doing things for myself so that I feel like my own Valentine all year round. And then on Valentine's Day, if I do get something extra, it's like the cherry on the cake. It's not the
Mm-hmm.
cake.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I buy myself flowers. I make sure that I buy myself flowers at least once a month. Every single month, without fail, I get flowers.
I'm sorry
Um,
to interrupt, but Miley Cyrus just won the award for that song, the Flowers song that everyone's obsessed with. And so
yeah,
I wanted to point that out. She won her first ever Grammy, and so it was to that song. So I can buy myself flowers.
exactly. And I think a lot of people feel, I don't want to say ashamed because I don't know if that's the right word, but I think a lot of people feel like, oh, why should I have to buy my own flowers? Because you love yourself. I feel like it's really simple. So I buy myself my own flowers all year round, and I will normally what I do for myself in February is I will go online and I will order myself flowers from myself and get them delivered, and I'll write a message to myself, and I do it early on in the month. I haven't done it yet though, but I do it early on in the month so that I forget about it. And then when a delivery turns up, I think, oh, who's that
Hmm,
from? And I
love
open
that.
it and I get all excited. And then I read the message and I'm like, oh yeah, I did this. I sent these to me. Um, and it sounds really silly, but it definitely it lights you up. It's
Mm-hmm.
amazing. So flowers are huge. I love flowers anyway. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like another thing that I do, which a lot of people a lot of people that I know don't do, is I open all the nice things. Sometimes at Christmas time you get perfume or you get creams or you get makeup or you get whatever it is, skincare, whatever it is. And sometimes the instinct is to take it, put it in a cupboard, and you think, oh, I'll take that on holiday with me, or I'll use that when I go to wherever, or I'll save that for a special occasion. Or I think sometimes there's a little bit of an underlying current. If it's something that's really expensive, feel a bit like, oh, I love that. So I'm just going to pack it away, hide it away. I use all the things. I open all the perfumes, I open all the face creams, I open everything, and I use it all. And I feel like that is it's a really tiny, tiny, tiny thing. But I think it sends a message to me that I matter, I love myself, I deserve to have nice face cream, I deserve to smell
I
good,
love that.
I deserve to like, feel the texture of something new and think, oh, that's amazing, and smell it. And, you're using all of your senses to kind of be in the moment of like self care. Um, those are two of the things I do. I do a lot, but those are two of the things that I do, and I swear by them. I would recommend these two things
Mm-hmm.
to anybody. Unless you don't like flowers, then
I
don't do the flowers thing.
or if you're allergic. Um,
Yeah.
I really love that. I think it's really special to treat yourself
Mm-hmm.
on Valentine's Day, but just every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it takes the pressure off. I think if you do something every day or even once a month, I feel like it takes the pressure off of Valentine's Day, and then you don't
Mhm.
feel so much like this day has to be amazing.
Totally.
Because yeah, it can technically be a normal day because you love yourself on the other 364 days.
And I think
I'd
what
love
you
to hear
said
what you
before,
know.
yeah, I'll share in a second. But I think what you said before was really important, and that comes down to like the reason why we even do self care, the reason why we take care of ourselves. It's because you're important. Again, most important
Mm,
relationship in your life. You're important to you. You deserve to have nice things and do all the things and treat yourself. And so, doing these things just to do them because Davina or I said, we do them and it feels good might not make you feel good, but doing them with
mm,
the intention of I'm doing this because I'm important to me. I'm doing this because I deserve to feel special. I am worthy, deserving. I think
yeah.
that's the message we have to remember all the time when we're taking care of
Mm,
ourselves and we're showing ourselves self-love. So I just wanted to highlight that
definitely.
because I think that's so important.
Yeah.
Similarly to you, I don't really focus on Valentine's Day. I am a self care fiend, self care holic. It is my passion. It is my kryptonite. It is every part of my being since I've discovered how to, really love up on myself and take care of myself.
Mm,
It's the best thing ever. I couldn't do the work that I do without, the care that I give to myself constantly. So my like favorite self-care things just in general is sleep. I'm obsessed with sleep,
mm.
at least eight
Yes.
hours every single night without fail. Moving my body and food. I love food. Food is like my
Mm,
my passion, my love. So those are just kind of like every day, every week, every month kind of things. And to be honest, I haven't really thought about making Valentine's Day particularly special. Like I know
mm.
my birthday's coming up a month after Valentine's Day, and what I always give myself is a sleep in. So sleep is like the treat that I give myself. So
Yeah.
I think I have to really think about like what I can do to make Valentine's Day special, but
Hmm.
also thinking that like every day, like Mondays are
Yeah.
special to me too, because that's the day that I, exercise or the day that I meal prep or the day that I clean
Mm,
the house, and those are things that are important and show me that I'm important and that I'm deserving of having things the way that I need them and want them and like them to be.
yeah.
Um, yeah, but for Valentine's Day, I don't really have any plans. It's making me think of what I can do to make that day special.
Well,
So
we've got a week.
maybe
We've got time.
yeah, and maybe our viewers can comment down below, what they do to make themselves feel important and loved and cared for
Yeah.
on Valentine's Day to give me some ideas because I would love to learn from you as well.
I love that. I love that. And I think something that you've just said there is so, so, so important. And it's that, I might like flowers and I might like skincare. You might love sleep and, moving your body and food. And I think for, people listening and watching, if any of those ideas are things that you are like, that is not self-care for me, that's really not. It's absolutely okay. And I think the key thing is to think about what light you up. And I know that we
Mm-hmm.
spoke about this on our self-care episode last year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think the key thing is to find what works for you and kind of build your own toolbox. So have a kind of things that will make you feel amazing. And even if they're
Totally.
simple and they cost no money whatsoever, even if it's just putting on your favorite playlist or curating a playlist so that that when I feel like I need a little bit of a pick me up, I can put this playlist on and I'm going to feel
Love
amazing.
that.
Or even if it's like, I know we spoke about this in that other episode, but even if it is just like, I'm going to do the dishes,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make sure that everything is clean, the kitchen's just going to be spotless. For me, that is a chore. But after that episode, I kind of looked at it very differently, and I thought, you know what? This is what you do when you love someone. Imagine you had a best friend, a partner, a family member that you absolutely love, and a day or whatever, and dishes to be done. You would definitely step in and you would do the dishes to take care of that person. So, a question that I ask is like, why wouldn't I do it for me? Why wouldn't I
Mm-hmm.
keep it home? Why wouldn't I want to smell good? Why wouldn't I want to have nice things around my home? Why wouldn't I want my home to be a sanctuary? So sometimes it's about your environment as well. It's not necessarily things for you, but I feel like it's just about finding things that work for you. And I think that is a beautiful journey as well, just like trying different things and thinking, do I like this? Do I want to put it in my toolkit? Yeah.
Absolutely. And I really love the point where you mentioned, it doesn't have to be expensive.
Mm.
I always say self-care doesn't have to be expensive and it doesn't have to take a lot of time, right? Just a simple word of kindness to yourself, just a simple intention set, saying please or thank you to yourself, things like that can take only a moment and cost $0. And so with the economy the way that it is and everything, where it's headed, it's really important to just have things on that list that are just easy, simple, and free to
Mm.
to
Yeah,
do that.
I completely agree. And I think that reduces the kind of, I can't remember what the word is, but kind of gap between wanting to do something and actually doing it. It reduces that distance
Yeah,
because if you should do and it's free, you're more likely to just get on and do it and then feel great afterwards. So it's all
exactly.
a win-win.
Exactly.
Well, I love talking about self-care. I know you love talking about self-care, and I know that we could talk about self-care every week. It's so great talking, and we will be back again in 2 weeks' time. And I hope everyone has a lovely Valentine's Day. Please do put in the comments what you decide to do for yourself. We would love to see that. And for more information on who we are, what we do, and our love of all things confidence and self development, you can find or follow us from our social media information, which will be posted below in the comments. And if you've liked what you've heard, feel free to like or subscribe. And we'll see you.
We will see you soon. Happy Love Day, everybody, and make every day a love day to all. Take good care.